Hi guys, my name is Lindsey. I'm one of the lactation consultants at Dairy Fairy Lactation. My colleague Megan and I are private practice or home visiting lactation consultants. I am also a hospital-based lactation consultant and a maternity nurse. Today I wanted to talk about some of the, in my opinion, most underrated breastfeeding products that some of you probably know about, but some of them really it seems like none of my clients know about, so I wanted to share them with you. So the first one that is pretty common is called the Haakaa pump, and a lot of patients or clients are beginning to bring these into the hospital with them when they have their baby, which is not super helpful because you don't tend to be making a ton of milk at the time that you come in. Some people are, though. Some people do leak colostrum towards the end of their pregnancy, and they're able to collect some of it right after the baby's born. And if you are someone who leaks a lot, maybe it's worth bringing into the hospital with you. Otherwise, this is really just something to have at home for after you're discharged from the hospital. But this is the Haakaa pump. So it goes on, it's called a pump. I don't know why. It's not super effective as a manual pump, although there are manual pumps that you squeeze as opposed to an electric pump that most people use for pumping. This is called a pump, but most people I find just use it to collect any milk that they're leaking, usually when the baby's nursing on one breast and they're leaking from the other breast. So it goes on the breast like this. I'm going to show you with my nifty silicone stress ball breast. So in order to put it on, you have to squeeze a little bit like this, and then try to center the nipple in here, not in the flange, this part, but in the little hole right here. And you can see that, I didn't do it right. When you apply just enough pressure, it pulls the nipple in a little bit, and it applies just a little bit of suction to help get a bit more milk or colostrum out as you're breastfeeding on the other side. And then it all collects in here. And when you're done, you just take it off, and you can pour the milk into whatever bottle or whatever storage container you're using. So the Haakaas are really cool to be using in a place where you're comfortable having both of your breasts exposed, or to be breastfeeding and then have the other breast exposed, which, depending on your comfort level, maybe you're fine doing that in public, maybe you're fine doing that in relatives' homes, maybe you'll only do that in your own home. But if you're in a place where you're not comfortable having both breasts out, there are other products too that I think are even better. So the first one that I'll talk about is called a breast shell. This brand is called Mommy's Love, right? They call them boob shells, which is kind of cute. And they're essentially for milk collection. They go inside your bra. This back part is made of silicone, right? It's super soft, it's BPA free, and it kind of molds to the breast, and the nipple goes in here. And then you leak, if you're leaking, you leak into this place right here, and then at the end, when you feel like emptying it, there's a little spout right here to dump it in to wherever, whatever storage container you're using. So it's hard to picture how it works, but check this out. I'm gonna use my own bra. Don't judge me. Okay. So we have our fake boob in our bra, right? And then what you actually do, I'm trying to figure out how to do this best. This bra obviously does not fit well for this breast. You actually just kind of sneak it in your bra and over your nipple. So it ends up looking like that, right? And it hangs out in your bra, and you can't even tell. like from the front, you can't really tell what's going on in there because it's nice and rounded. And it collects any milk that you leak either while you're nursing or even throughout the day. Because some people leak continuously throughout the day, or you leak when somebody else's baby cries at the grocery store or whatever the case may be, and you can save that milk and give it to your baby later on. So that's one product. And there's another one that is even cooler and serves even more purposes. And this one is made by Medela, but you can get any brand of these. There's a million brands on Amazon. So Medela calls them soft shells, and I'm sorry that the print is backwards. And they look like this. So these guys have the same soft silicone BPA-free backing that molds to the breast and the hard outer shell that is shaped to go inside your bra and not show a ton. They also come with this guy, which is just like a little absorbent sponge to catch the milk in case you're concerned about it leaking through these holes in the front. These holes are for ventilation primarily. And you're probably wondering, why would I ever want my nipples to have ventilation? Well, there are a lot of reasons. So the first reason might be if you have nipple damage, or you have sensitive nipples and your nipples hurt when they're rubbing on the inside of your bra, and you don't really want them touching. So this lets air get to your nipples, which helps reduce sensitivity, and it helps heal nipples that are genuinely damaged if you have cracking or chafing. Also, the other use for these is if you have a yeast infection of the nipple, which often goes along with your baby having an oral yeast infection called thrush. So a yeast infection of the nipple doesn't usually look like much. Sometimes it's red. Sometimes it's really hard to even see anything, like the whole nipple is just generally red, or there's not much obvious signs of a yeast infection at all, except that it's super painful. So when that does happen, you want to do everything you can to try to help it heal quickly, and using these or some product that's similar that has vents will definitely help your nipples heal faster and help the yeast infection clear up faster. A yeast infection in a baby's mouth or oral thrush usually looks like white spots on their tongue, like way back here, right? Sometimes it's on the inside of their lips. Like if you look back here, you can see white stuff stuck on their lips that you think maybe is milk, but then it doesn't come off. So also, if you have a yeast infection or you suspect a yeast infection, you definitely should be seen by a lactation consultant if you want, but we're not prescribers, so you may need to go get a prescription from your OBGYN or your primary care doctor or your baby's pediatrician to treat this, and you should both get treated at the same time if you have a yeast infection. But that's a whole other conversation. So maintenance and storage of these products, all three of them, meaning the shells without the vent and the Haakaa, right, and this, you want to treat them exactly like you treat your breast pump parts, which means that you want to clean them every time you empty milk out of them, which ideally should be no less often, or at least every 4 hours, because breast milk is only good at room temperature for about 4 hours. So if you're going to save the milk, you definitely have to empty it, put it in the fridge at least every 4 hours. And you should wash everything, all the pieces, all your Haakaa or your shells, with the dish soap of your choice and water at that time. And then just like breast pump parts, all of these things should be sanitized at least every 24 hours. And you can sanitize things by boiling them for 10 minutes or by putting them through the sanitize cycle on your dishwasher. The only other thing I was thinking about was that Medela doesn't give great directions about taking care of these little foam things in here, in like the directions in the packaging. Don't say much about how to take care of it. these, do not squeeze milk out of these and then save it, because these are full of bacteria, like guaranteed. I would only be using this if you're fine with throwing the milk out and you're worried about it spilling. Like if you lean forward and it spills out of these holes. And you might be worried about that. So sometimes it's worth throwing the milk away to make sure that your shirt doesn't get covered. But definitely don't squeeze these out and then try to save the milk. And I would definitely get new ones and change them at least every time they look gross, although Medela doesn't give a timeline of when you should get new ones at all. These guys, however, are fine to be reused forever as long as you take care of them right. They won't get disgusting as far as I know. So that's my spiel about the underrated breastfeeding products of the world that none of my clients seem to know about, and they probably should. So if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to comment below. You can text us, call us, message us. All of our contact info is available on our website and on our Facebook page. If you have any questions about getting a consultation, you can also book online on our website at www.thedairyfairylactationma.com. Our Facebook page with our contact info is facebook.com/dairyfairylactationma. Our Twitter is @dairylactation, and our Pinterest is Dairy Fairy Lactation Massachusetts, and our Instagram is dairyfairylactation_ma. So feel free to follow us. Let us know what your thoughts are. Let us know what you think about these products, whether they've worked for you, if you've had any trouble with them, if you have any questions about them. And feel free to contact us for a consultation as well. Take care, you guys. Bye.